Hello guys, Panzer 36 here. Today's video is going to be the painting weathering tutorial for my M10 Achilles 2C, but because I was at the IPMS Nationals in Omaha, Nebraska, that takes some time. I'm a little bit behind in editing this, especially because it's a pretty big video. It's full painting and weathering, so it's probably going to be one more week before I'm done with this. So instead I decided I'd give you guys a little bit of a channel update and show you what I got at Nats, and I can also give you a sneak peek at the M10 and also a couple of other projects that are very close to being done. So here is the M10. As you can see, it's looking pretty nice. I'm actually very pleased with how it came out. The only thing I wish was a little different was that I wish the SSC 15 olive drab was a little bit darker. I lightened it with the base of SSC 15, then I did 3 progressive lightnings, and I probably should have only done 2, but I mean, for my first time with this finish, I think it came out really well. Next time I know how to obviously make it a little bit darker, but I'm still very pleased with it. If you didn't watch my previous video, this is the Tamiya kit with a bunch of upgrades, some photo etch sets and track armor and some other accessories in there, but it still was a pretty quick build, but we went into some detailing. I also did a couple of new things that I haven't done before, which was doing some proper marbling. When I'm airbrushing the green, I can make a slightly lighter color, and I can kind of add some interest. You can probably see that best if you look at the top of the turret. I don't know how well it comes out, but there's a lot of nice marbling around there, and also on the engine deck as well. But I kind of put some dust effects on it later, so I don't know how well it comes out on camera. I also did some, I guess you call it pre-dust streaking. You can probably see that on the sides of the turret. There's some subtle variation in horizontal or vertical streaks to the green there. And that was done the same way, a slightly lighter version airbrushed in some vertical streaks. So you can see that on the mantlet too. That was, I think, a good idea, and I definitely kind of started the weathering and saved me some time later with oils and stuff. You can also definitely see that on the barrel. Give some variation there, and then I didn't have to actually bother weathering the barrel later, which is good because usually when you start weathering a metal barrel, all the paint decides to come off, and that's horrible. But overall, very pleased with this, especially the track armor. It came out looking really unified with the rest of the vehicle. It looks great, and the interior also came out pretty good. So I hope you guys look forward to this video. The full painting weathering should be up for you guys next week, unless I die or something. Alright, now for something a little more in tune with my usual videos. My 1945 StuG or Sturmhaubitze 3 is very, very nearly done. It's been waiting for a while for late sprockets to come, and I finally got them. These are from Elephant Model Productions. They make 3D printed accessories, and they're very, very good. So I've got some nice late sprockets with a simplified hub and no lubrication nipple that are going to go on this guy. I just got to paint them up. And the guy behind it here, oops, sorry, that was horrible noise. This, I don't think I've shown it yet in a video. This is my equivalent, like late 1944, but it's from the other factory that built StuG 3. This is the MEAG factory. So you can see the factory camouflage pattern is completely different and even more crazy, but I actually had a pretty good time airbrushing this. Took about 6 different kind of layers going back and forth to get the pattern looking really good. With both these vehicles, these are standardized patterns that were applied later in the war because vehicles were camouflaged in the factory, so they would be camouflaged when they're being transported by rail to units due to Allied air superiority. So these factory camouflage patterns were applied in the factory by some guys who had like a drawing of, red stripe here, yellow stripe there, green stripe there. So they're pretty standard, and I basically just went through all the photos I could find and mapped out where each stripe was to the best of my ability. You can't really find photos of the roof and the engine deck, but you can find photos from all sides. So I went with that, and after a lot of trial and error, I got these camouflage patterns looking pretty good. And I did do a video on the Alcat one. I did not do a video on this one, but I'll cover it briefly in that video because it's the same paints and the same techniques, just the pattern's a little bit more intricate. But it's really just the same thing in the end anyways. But these look really good. Still got to do a little bit of a detailed painting on this guy and put some parts on it, but they're both almost done. I still have to paint the side skirts though. That's going to take another day or so, but these guys are very close to being done, and there'll be a full camo painting video on these guys as well. Alright, now let's take a look at what I got at the Nats. I tried to be a little frugal because I also only had 1 suitcase plus my carry-on bag, so I had to be careful with how much I get back, but I got a lot of good stuff still. So I've got the Panzer Concepts crane here from BJ DeBecker. This looks pretty cool. I've also got some 3D printed tracks from Scale Colors 3D. He gave them to me at the show to feature in my track comparison review, which will be the second part of a probably long-running series at this point because they keep making them faster than I can get them for the review. So I'm interested in seeing how these compare to some of the other brands. Rick Cooper also gave me some that he had bought from eBay. These are the Rogues Cove tracks from eBay, so these are another one that I can review. These are Sherman tracks, but these are another example of 3D printed tracks for my video. And Dave Knights from the Plastic Model Mojo podcast gave me some Chino Model 3D printed tracks. Now I already have a set of Chino Model 3D printed tracks because Chino Model makes tracks that are printed pre-assembled and tracks that are printed where you have to assemble them. I got the pre-assembled ones because they look like they're pretty good. These are, I'm going to give you a spoiler for the video, these are very small because these are the non-pre-assembled ones. And these things are absolutely microscopic. Like, how are you going to cut those off? The supports are bigger than the track links. Oh my god. For an extra $5 you could have bought these pre-assembled. So he didn't want to suffer with these, so he's going to make me suffer for my track review. But, you know, it's all for you guys in the end. So, sort of thanks to Dave, because I'm going to suffer, but I appreciate the content for my video. I also picked up this right at the very end of the show. This is a 3D printed Vargas scale model M777A2 155mm howitzer. Because I was in the display room looking at all the models at the very end of the show, and I saw one of these in the artillery section, and it was really well done. It actually ended up winning first place in that category, I believe, but it was so well done I walked straight out of there to the vendor room and bought one of these while they were packing up. I gave them all the money I had left, and it wasn't quite the retail price, but they, you know, it's the last day, so they'll take a little bit of discount for their products. But I'm really excited to do this. It looks really good in there, and I know I can actually do it as a Canadian one because we have these, but it looks pretty sweet. It's all 3D printed, but it looks very crisp, and the instructions are on a little USB here, which is pretty cool. And then I bought two proper kits. I bought the Dragon Panzer IV-H. This is the late production with Zimmerit. I built either the mid or the early production with Zimmerit, which is basically the same kit, but it has different tool arrangement and it has Zimmerit on the side skirts there. I built that a while ago and it was a very nice kit. I do love Dragon Zimmerit kits, and Panzer IVs are like my second favorite tanks, so this will be a fun project to do someday. I'm not going to build it right away, I don't think, but it's definitely a cool vehicle, and you know, there's always tons of interesting Panzer IVs I can do, so I'll figure out something cool to do with this guy someday. But it does look like a sweet kit. It's got DS tracks, but you know, I've got lots of aftermarket. I wonder why. And you know, it's got lots of details in there too, so this is definitely a fun project for the future. And then last but not least, I got 250/9 Noi, which is well, let's just say I love the half tracks, so I love the 250 and the 251 with the 222 turret on them. The 250, I think it's a 19, the 250 with it. I also love the Aufklärungs Panzer 38T, which is a 38T with this turret as well. It just looks so cool. I think it's something about this turret, it looks really modern. But this is going to be a fun project, again, for the future. I'm not going to build it right now, but I've already got my next project lined up, as I'll mention in a second. But this kit also has a lot of good details, and I got it for like $35, which is a great price for a peak Dragon kit from the time when they were at their peak. They weren't skimping out on all the details. So it's got like all the photo etch in there. It's got the width indicators machined in brass and everything, so this looks like it's going to be a lovely build. And I do actually have some 3D printed tracks for this vehicle that I bought as part of my review, so I can put them on it as well. So speaking of 3D printed tracks, I did not get these at Nats, this is separate. These are some more 3D printed tracks for my review that's ongoing. So I've got Minor Model fully printed workable, so you just open up the box and it's a pre-assembled, printed as one workable length tracks. These are very cool, and I can't wait to try them on that 250 I just showed you. And I've also got the Chino Model S pre-assembled workable tracks. So similarly, these are presumably printed workable. I haven't really checked these out too much yet. And these are the $5 more expensive option than those horrible looking TKS ones I showed you before. So yeah, there'll be more tracks in this review because there's probably 10 brands total. And I want to get some of the other guys like Panzer Art and etc. when they release their tracks as well. And now this is going to be my next build series video, weathering tutorial project, whatever, you know, big thing for the YouTube channel. So as you can see, this is Dragon's Jagdpanzer IV L48 July 1944 production with molded on Zimmer, and this thing looks absolutely great. I'm probably going to do an L70 long barrel version, but not decided yet. This is, I did not get this at Nats, I got this before, so this is separate, but I'm looking forward to building this. At Nats, though, I did get a photo etch set for it. This is the Aber set, so it's got a bunch of goodies in there. I also got a few other Aber sets at Nats and some like oil paints and stuff, but nobody wants to see that stuff. So yes, this will be the big next project on YouTube, and we'll see what I can do. I kind of want to do some damage on the Zimmerit, and we'll see what we can do with some cool camouflage as well. Alrighty, so that's it for this channel update. Hope you guys enjoyed the little sneak peek at some upcoming projects and also my haul from Nats. There were a lot of cool models there, and I really enjoyed meeting countless people who I've met before and know from their YouTube channels or from Facebook, and also people who watch my videos and introduce themselves as viewers. I met like at least 50 people like that, and it was really amazing that I've had such an impact on the hobby and people like watch my videos and stuff. It was a great time at Nats, and I really enjoyed meeting everybody. And I kind of want to go again next year, so we'll see. So like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, you can post them in the comment section below because I always read through them all. And I will see you guys next week with my M10 painting and weathering video. If you enjoy my content, you can support me on Patreon with the link on screen now. The people over there who give me a little bit of money every month really help me buying paints and products and tracks and etc. All those things to review in my videos for you guys, and the support's really appreciated and it really helps out. So as always, I'll see you guys next time. Until then, goodbye, stay safe, and happy modeling.